Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rukwakwadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone rule well, and the Akim doing the work of Yabashim Yahushai in sincerity and truth with all diligence of mind. As you can see, man, you have the so-called U.S. Vice President, is giving a speech to his so-called, partners, European partners regarding the situation with Turkey, and its membership in NATO, and also touch on the point that their desire to purchase the S-400, you know, defense system. That's it's not something that should be taken lightly. All right, so I'll play the video, and you get from there that it's all prophecy playing out, man. Because you know how it is, man. This issue's not going nowhere, man. It's the Lord pulls the strings.
The U.S. Vice President has warned Turkey against buying Russia's S-400 anti-missile system.
Turkey must choose. Does it want to remain a critical partner of the most successful military alliance in the history of the world? Or does it want to risk the security of that partnership by making reckless decisions that undermine our alliance?
Pence said Turkey's planned purchase of the Russian defense system poses a greater danger to the NATO military alliance. U.S. Vice President said it is deeply troubling that Turkey is moving ahead with the plan even after Washington offered it a Patriot missile system. Turkish foreign minister has responded to Pence's statements, saying Ankara will push ahead with the purchase of the Russian system.
Yeah, and you hear the so-called U.S. Vice President, Mr. Pence talks about, the most successful military, upon the face of the earth. So that's how, you have a better understanding of what the scripture is talking about, all right? So I'm going to go to the book of Revelation, chapter 13, all right? And then verse 4, it says, you know what? I'll start from verse 3, Revelation chapter 13, verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all of the world wondered after the beast. All right, so the revival of the Roman Empire gave rise to the founding of NATO. All right, and that's exactly what we see going on nowadays. It's a part of prophecy, and America's a key partner in NATO, man. One of the founding members. All right, so hey, it's all spiritual. And then the point is in verse 4. It says, and they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him. All right. And then verse 5 says, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. All right, so since 1958, they add like 42 years to that. It's about a year 2000, but here the Lord extended so-called space of time, but it's all according to the Lord's timetable, so spiritual. All right, so it's no joke, man. These elites, man, they need everything they can do to have their powers, exercised upon the face of the earth, and all these business dealings, they take business very seriously. All right, and I play this video to get some more ideas for you.
And we try to. It's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal, and even President Trump admitted.
Yep, he said it's a done deal. It's final. All right, so that's what it's gonna be like in these last days, man. It's a done deal, man. Everything is a done deal according to the will of the Lord Yahweh Shai. And then when you look at the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 1, it says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakadash, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whatsoever he will." All right. So that's how it goes, man. It's all the Lord's will. And then you go and watch some more or other videos. You hear about the so-called Italians and some other countries talking about Russia needs to play a role in stabilizing Libya. I'm like, wow, this is getting, very interesting, so it's strange. So this is just Ezekiel chapter 38 being played out in front of us again. So you can't ignore it. It's all spiritual, man. Folks like to think that the Bible is all a book of fairy tales, but when things start to match up, all of a sudden people start to get nervous. They want to pretend as if that they didn't say it wasn't. All right. So it's beautiful. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read a list of the so-called 10 horns of the EU. So you got Luxembourg, you got Belgium, you got France, you got Greece, you got the United Kingdom, all right? Then you have Italy, you have the Dutch, that's the Netherlands. Then you have Denmark, you have Germany, and then you have Spain, you know. So Spain and Portugal are the same, on the same island. So it's no double counting there, all right? So it's all spiritual that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is letting this prophecy play out, man. It takes time for things to happen. The Most High planted that seed, and then it's exactly what we're seeing. You're seeing the fruits. It's blossoming. All right, so it's no joke, man. Looking at the fulfillment of prophecy, it's scary. And when this World War III starts to get very hot, then folks realize that that the men of the Lord on the highways and byways are speaking in the spirit, in the name of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, and they will not be able to refute it.
Even President Trump admitted on the phone that it was the mistake of the previous administration of the United States that they couldn't sell Patriots to us.
And this has nothing to do with mistakes, man. It's all the Lord's plan. Whether it was a mistake, whether it was intentional, whether it was someone trying to, make some money on the side, hey, it's all according to the Lord, And this geopolitics thing, man, it's not something to take lightly. It's something very serious, right? So concerning the salvation of the elect of the nation of Israel, these are the terrible things that need to happen, man. People have to, complain. People have to argue. People have to fight. People have to die. Wars have to happen. You gotta have all types of natural disasters. So those are all signs, that the Lord Yahweh Shai talked about. Rumors of wars. Plagues and pestilences. The breakdown of family. The introduction of the RFID chip, martial law. Civil war, chaos in the streets. It's all part of the sign. It's the destruction of Esau's society, and that's going to lead to the birth of our nation. The rebirth of our nation, the nation of Israel, the nation of the elect. All right. So it's beautiful to see these things happen, man. Though it's scary, you just have to accept it, man, because these are bitter moments. These are the bitter portions of the scriptures that the prophets prophesied about. Especially the prophet Ezekiel in the chapter 8, chapter 38. He talks about it.
Earlier this week, the U.S. canceled the delivery of equipment related to F-35 fighter jets to Turkey over Ankara's decision to buy this system. Turkey has refused to back down for making that purchase. This agreement is the latest in a series of diplomatic rows between Ankara and Washington.
Yep, and the scripture talks about, the 10 toes, the legs, mixed with steel and married clay. Just lets you know there won't be unity. Partly strong and partly weak. All right, they're not on the same page. All right, because as you see, man, when you read Ezekiel chapter 38, it lets you know what's going on, man. Folks think it's all a joke and fairy tales, but it is the main deal. All right, and then I'll just read from verse 1, Ezekiel chapter 38. And the word of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Kwakadash, came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Meaning, hey, the prophet Ezekiel got to prophesy against the Russians, against the Soviets, all right, and say, Thus said the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Then it says, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmets. All right. So Russia got a relationship with the Iranians. It's a strong one, and then you're gonna have the northeast side of Africa, where you have the Somalians, you have the Eritreans, you have the Ethiopians, you have Kenya. Who knows how it's gonna go around there? You have Sudan also. So who knows how those Arab countries, so-called black, Arabic-speaking countries are gonna go along, with this program. It's all in the hands of the Lord. All right. Then verse 6 says, Gomer and all his bands. So Gomer represents the Turks, the Turkish, right? And it says the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. All right. So Turkey got a large army. You could look up the stats, and that's no joke, man. So these are the type of wars that the elites fights, man. Not some little, Scooby-Doo, Skittle fights, man. Some big stuff.
Joining us now out of London, Adriel Cosanta, political analyst out of, and to join us to add more to the story. Hello, it's a pleasure to have you back on the program. Sir, your thoughts on the story?
Well, my thoughts on the story is that the United States is simply blackmailing Turkey by forcing it to buy its stuff, buy its equipment. So I don't know what it has to do with the free market. It is not the free market. It is strictly mafia-style the forcing of the other nation to buy the equipment, which is not certain to be bought because Congress can still refuse to sell this F-35 jets to Turkey.
Yep. So Congress can't really do nothing unless their bosses, tell them to go ahead and let it be done. And that's through the hands of the Lord Yahweh Shai, because all these folks you see sitting down there in DC and all these federal buildings, they got bosses they have to answer to. All right. They're all beholden to the elite bankers, the Amalekites. All right. The DuPonts, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, the super rich of Edom. All right. I live in the in the western part of Europe. And it's so interesting that folks don't understand what's really going on. But hey, it's Esau, man. Esau wants to enjoy his birthright to the fullest. And the Lord Yahweh Shimei Shai has set up a snare for him, all right? So that was the point, Akim, man. These weapons were not made to scare people, man. They were meant to be used. The scripture talks about them being used. So no, these are no weapons to shoot down the fly, to shoot down horses and cattle and all that stuff. These are heavy duty weapons, man, that could go from one continent to the other. All right, because it's no joke, man. Just gotta pray the Lord Yahweh Shimei Shai protects you in these last days, man, because He's just willing to destroy so much stuff, man, in order to preserve his interest. All right. So I say, Kal Halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Kwakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Stone rule well, and the Akim fighting hard for the salvation of the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, keep up the good fight of faith. Shalom.